Welcome back and show. Another edition, and tonight we're going to be talking about the Giants' next affair with the San Francisco 49ers on Sunday night. But real quick, I wanted to get your thoughts because I know last time we talked about the offense and its struggles, and we could definitely contribute this to the Niners game. And I looked at the Giants, and their play calling is really an issue, I think, with not throwing the ball down the field, so conservative, go past the first down marker and take the game into their own hands. And that second half versus Buffalo, if not for that touchdown by Rashad Jennings, that game could have possibly been Buffalo coming back and then taking a lead, and then we're in for a seesaw, hold your breath, button your seatbelt sort of finish.
Yeah, that would have been definitely a nightmare scenario for the Giants. Could easily see them being 1-3 as a starting on the season. And it's depressing because we actually should be 3-1 now because they blew a lot of games against Dallas at the 10-point lead against Dallas on Sunday Night Football. Then you had against the Falcons where we were watching it together. Before the Eagles Cowboys game in week 2, and it was one of those things where you just gotta hope and pray something good happens for these Giants. Going into the next game now, I feel like Giants really need to stretch the field more. The 49ers defense is very suspect. Nothing on that defense really scares you now with Tom Sulo at the helm.
No.
I don't see Kaepernick has really been struggling. He's definitely regressed as a starter ever since, he made that trip against the NFC title game against our Giants back in 2011. So he's definitely regressed since then, and he's also been to the Super Bowl once as well against the Baltimore Ravens. But I just feel like the Giants, it's going to be a great game to watch. It's going to be a Sunday Night Football under the lights, and I just see the Giants really just, if they play like this week, that defense, I don't see Kaepernick scoring 10 points or more. Even at that, they scored 3 points against Green Bay's defense. So and I feel like our defense is better than the Green Bay defense right now, and especially just basing it off last week's performance. And I just see Eli, he's going to struggle again. Hopefully we'll get Victor Cruz back, and I'm just looking forward to watching the game. And I'm going to make my prediction right now. I think Giants are going to pull this one out. I think they're going to pull it out, 27-17 with this game.
It's actually a lot closer than a lot of prognosticators would think. And I look at San Francisco, and they seem to be a franchise in complete disarray. Jim Harbaugh, you look at what he's doing at Michigan now. They could possibly be a playoff team in the playoffs. An exceptional coach. And Jim Tonsula, no offense to him, but he just hasn't righted the ship at all. Colin Kaepernick, the problem was too many things as a quarterback. He's not a traditional, read the defense 3 times, make your reads and fire. He's not like a Drew Brees. He doesn't process defense as well. What he is a freak of nature, getting outside the pocket, running, making plays and improvising, and making those 20-second plays those are plays that can really hurt teams. So is when Kaepernick can get outside the pocket. So gap discipline is key. The Giants have had problems with running quarterbacks in the past, certainly. So that's definitely something to monitor. I don't think expect our defensive line to again pull through and shut down their running game. What I really want to see from the Giants, and this is an area that's been missing and will cause problems later in the season, the pass rush is still non-existent. Tyrod Taylor had all day, Matt Ryan sliced up our defense, and then Tony Romo in that first game, definitely more apparent. I want to see this defense get some sacks. I think we might have only had 2 sacks on the year, and that might be even giving them the benefit of the doubt. So I want to see the Giants get after Kaepernick, sack that guy, and I think the Giants can honestly rout out San Francisco in this game. They could win this game 28-6.
Wow. That is a huge prediction coming from my man.
No, I think that this is a celebration of the win at Buffalo, and I do believe that we could be in first place, and there should be a chant at Giant Stadium that goes along the lines of we're we're in first place. That's really what I want to see, is a celebration of us finally recapturing that NFC East glory and taking.
I agree. Even though it's early, 25%, the football season is in the books now, especially the regular season. It's great to see that, we're tied, with Dallas and I believe, Dallas and the Redskins were all tied at 2-2, and then you have the lowly Eagles sitting at 1-3. I've been looking at this schedule, I just want to make a quick point here. Honestly, I see them like starting out the season at 1-6 because I don't have the schedule in front of me. They were playing against teams that, next week they play the Saints.
Right.
And it's Drew Brees. They're going to tear them apart. And Drew Brees is like top 10 quarterback in this league. They overpaid for
Murray.
I'm trying to remember
Murray.
Maxwell. They overpaid for him. He's not a great man coverage type. He's just I'm just so excited to watch again this week. Drew Brees is going to carve him up like it's turkey dinner. Turkey is around the corner. Got your Thanksgiving coming up on in that game next week. And I believe they play the Cowboys the week after that. Yeah, I don't see them winning against them again because the way they play against the Cowboys, I just don't see, even with Brandon Weeden. Brandon Weeden played pretty well against them in the Eagles game when Romo got hurt with his broken clavicle again for the second time in his career. But yeah, I'm just making a quick point here about the NFC East and how they're looking, and I don't know. That's just all I had to say right now.
I just have to say, out of all the teams in the NFC East, and this isn't because. This isn't really because of, I know that you mentioned that you live in the Philadelphia area, and I know that we both live in the Northeast Spectre, and we live a long ways from town. On the news around here in the Northeast, Chip Kelly and the Philadelphia Eagles. So that does play a little bit into my fear of the Eagles. I honestly think out of all these NFC East teams, the Eagles are my number one most wanted in terms of being afraid to play the Eagles. That last game on Halloween last year, it wasn't Halloween, but it was a blackout game in Philly. We were 3-2. We beat the Texans and the Redskins, and that was really where our season went to pasture. Was when they beat us 28-0. It was maybe the worst experience I've ever had watching a football game ever. And Chip Kelly has our number. Even I think he might be 4 game when the Eagles were eliminated. Mark Sanchez put up 38 points. I look at New Orleans. They're not that great of a football team. They barely handled Dallas. Even Tampa Bay went down there and beat them. The Eagles can honestly beat New Orleans, and then they can come and face us on Monday Night Football, and it could be very scary. Out of all the teams in the NFC East, Chip Kelly's offense has had our number. Sam Bradford did look a little bit better last week. So I hope the Eagles continue to struggle. My one wish, I would even take Dallas beating New England, and I wouldn't mind it. My one wish, other than the Giants winning, is for the New Orleans Saints to beat the Eagles and just to bury Chip Kelly. Because this team, if you keep the Eagles around long enough, Chip Kelly's a scary coach to go after, man. His scheme, he still, I think, has power in this league, and he still has been successful.
Spence, man, you're making me jump out of these seats with these type of comments you're making, man. You're praising Chip Kelly's a god. He's meant for in the college realm.
He's had success the first couple years.
He's a great, college coach. He played great at Oregon. Oregon went to the national title game a couple years ago, and now you're just going to praise Chip Kelly. You're going to give him the benefit of doubt. Oh, you think it's okay going 10-6 and making the playoffs and losing the first round? You think that's a great Chip Kelly coach for the NFL scheme? Because I've proven to me right now these past couple years haven't really proven his offense. Quick tempo offense, no huddle. It hasn't worked in this league. The defensive coordinators have figured it out. And you were saying, I was going to make a correction earlier that the Giants play the Eagles in 2 weeks, not the Cowboys, and that's a very exciting game to watch as well. But just to pick it off of your point, it's why do you think the Eagles are going to make this great run?
Because
of Sam Bradford made a couple good throws last week. And you keep forgetting the first half of the Redskins. He played so poorly. He got a big fat goose egg. He wasn't making the right throws. He's going to do the same thing every week. What do you I don't see any improvements. Redskins' defense was atrocious, and even the Eli Manning of all players tore him up, tore up the where you're getting all this. Sam Bradford is great.
Well,
and,
I don't think Sam Bradford is great, but out of all the teams in the NFC East, Redskins I'm not scared about at all. We crushed the Skins, so I'm not afraid of them. And the Dallas Cowboys, Dallas I'm certainly not afraid of. That first game, even with Romo, we know what they are. There's no turnover. But with Philadelphia, and it's ironic, even though the Eagles lost to the Redskins, as you pointed out, Chip Kelly, first couple of years, he made Nick Foles into a reputable quarterback that he threw 27 touchdowns, 2 picks. Even last year, they had a very explosive offense and were 9-3. And Chip Kelly, he eats, sleeps, and breathes football. He's a mad scientist, like we mentioned. It was scary sometimes. It's scary watching that Eagles offense when Kawhi is humming. So out of all the coaches in the NFC East, let's look at the coaches. You have Jason Garrett, who pretty much he defines mediocrity. He's like the little nice guy on the corner, you know. He's like your old neighbor, you know. He's a great dude. You love hanging out with him, but he's not going to scare you. He's not reputable. And then you look at Jay Gruden. Jay Gruden is he could get fired in a couple years, but Chip Kelly, he's had the Giants number the last couple of years. You have to admit that. You have to admit that Eagles game on Monday night going into the Link is a little scary.
I totally agree with you, Spence.
Well, I want to see. You think that game's scary? What game is scarier, the Eagles or the Cowboys? Because what you say about the Eagles is very true, and a lot of people would agree with you there.
What's your question? You said you want to know the Eagles versus Cowboys, or the both of those games?
No, I'll make my question clear. Out of the teams in the NFC East, what team do you fear the most, and why? And do you not fear the Eagles?
Well, I'm gonna be a little biased there, because you see on the my top left of my screen, huge Giants fan, and I'm gonna be honest with you. As I look down the NFC East, team that scares me the most, I gotta. Well, first off, you have the Eagles, who you don't know what type of team you're going to come off every single week. I mean, they could just turn it on in a click of a second. I understand that, but that inconsistent play doesn't scare me one bit. The Redskins are very inconsistent as well. They don't scare me, with Kirk Cousins making at the helm, and that doesn't really scare me.
Giants are better. Mm-hmm.
There's one team that does scare me. That now that I really think about it, once everybody is healthy, I'm gonna have to say the Dallas Cowboys, and this is my reason why. Because honestly, when everybody's healthy, I mean, once they get Tony Romo back, in the second half of the season, Des Bryant is scheduled to come back. He's a physical specimen. He's gonna come back, with a chip on his shoulder against the team that injured him, which is my New York Giants. And I honestly feel that the Dallas Cowboys, I mean, they still have a great defense, and led by Sean Lee and company, and and Skandrick and all them boys on the Cowboys. I'm waiting to see what type of team they're going to be looking up against. I mean, yeah, they did struggle against the Saints. I mean, they played them very tough, and honestly, when it's going to come down to is why I don't pick the Giants as a scary team. The Giants are very lackluster with the whole with their offense, as we discussed on our last segment. And Eli can turn it on any time he wants, but then he goes where his patterns of not being able to score, not connecting with his receivers, with Odell Beckham and Donnell and the whole rest of the group. And honestly, once the Cowboys get back, I mean, they're definitely still the team to beat, in my opinion. Once they have all their players healthy, they were the division winners last year. So I mean, you just gotta see what happens and goes on with Dallas.
So as I look at the NFC East, I think that the Giants I think they have the best chance out of anybody to win this division, because Brandon Whedon's going to go through Murderer's Row the next couple of games. I think they play New England, they play Seattle, Green Bay. there's a chance that Dallas could really plummel, and there's a chance that they could really fall apart. I look at the Redskins. We already played them. Nothing about them scares me at all. Matt Jones, Alfred Morris. Their defensive line's okay. They're just Kirk Cousins. I mean, even though I like Kirk Cousins, like I mentioned last week, I don't think that the Redskins have the capability to beat the Giants. I think the Giants are more disciplined. They're a lot better coached. Washington still makes dumb turnovers. They don't have the talent that we actually do on offense. I like us better than Washington. Then the Eagles, you're right, their running game is a disaster right now. Their offensive line play, they're not playing very well. I just look at Chip Kelly as a coach, and I still think that the guy has a lot of intelligence. He again, is a little bit scary how he doesn't have a wife, and he's kind of like psychotic about the game of football. And the Eagles have been very successful. When that offense is humming, it is something you don't want to go against. So they're the one team that we haven't played, though. So that's maybe why I'm Eagles, is because it's the one team we haven't played. Because Dallas at full strength, we almost beat Dallas. And their team did nothing to get better. In fact, it just got worse. I mean, you got rid of Murray, who was very talented on that offense. I mean, I know Greg Hardy's coming in to play on their defense, but that secondary isn't very good. That's a totally winnable game coming up when the Giants host Brandon Weeden and the Cowboys. So what I really hope is that the Saints beat the Eagles, and the Eagles get down on themselves and feel that they have no chance to return, because there's a chance that the Eagles implode over the next couple of weeks. If the Eagles get back in the hunt, I think that they're very serious. I think Dallas, again, you're not going to count them out. So right now, my rankings of fear in the NFC East is definitely a little bit rare, but I think that the Eagles are still the team to watch out for, because if Bradford, if they can improve somehow at a couple positions, if they start humming, then it could get very scary. But the Eagles, if 2 weeks, if the Saints and Giants beat them, they're toast, and it's beautiful. We don't have that roadblock. That would be fantastic.
That'd be a great thing to see.
How fantastic would it be to see the Eagles buried and done?
I know, I look forward to that every Sunday. I mean, this past Sunday was great to watch because, my New York Giants won, and so it was a beautiful day. I might have not gotten my Dunkin' Donuts coffee on Monday, but I was still a happy camper, man.
Oh, man.
I can make my own coffee no matter whenever I feel pleased, and it's one of those.
Yeah.
I mean, even though I love me some Dunkin' Donuts coffee, but
don't let them linger.
I enjoy Eagles losing more than anything else in my life.
So don't let them linger. That's the key. It's just to get the Eagles out of the picture completely this year would just be fantastic. And even if the Eagles fire Chip Kelly, as a Giants fan, would you be a little bit relieved if they fired him?
Would I be relieved? I mean, not really, because I would have rather have him stay. Because I don't think he's Super Bowl, type of talent, man. I just don't see it. I mean, this is fourth year in the NFL now, and he's got to finally pick up the pace now. It's like you got to make strides in the playoffs. You need to go in the NFC title game. You need to go to the Super Bowl and win the big game, and he hasn't even gone past the first round of the playoffs yet. And it's like you got to dump all your players that you have right now and just start over like he did, because it looks like it's not working out for you well, Chip. Now, is it? Oh, man. Poor old Chip. Poor Chip. Oh, poor Chip.
He's such an arrogant kid.
Love it.
He's so arrogant, and that's what makes everyone around the league love for Chip to fail. I mean, I think the majority of people around the league enjoy seeing Chip fail because he never puts the blame on himself. He never is one to admit, I maybe made a mistake here. He's not humble.
He's got that look on his face where it's like, I'm the boss, I run the show, and if you don't like it, get out of my way. That's how he is. It's all business. That's what he's made it for in the NFL. But I'm going to make an interesting prediction here for you, Spence. I believe I'm going to make a bold prediction, and I'm going to say it right here on the show.
Okay.
I'm going to say Chip Kelly's going to go. He's going to have a 6-10 season. Jeffrey Lurie's going to fire him.
Whoa.
And you know what's going to happen? And just to pop He is going to resurrect that University of Texas football franchise. They're going to fire Cherry Strong. They're going to bring that Chip Kelly, swag back to college football, ready to rock and roll. And that's just one of those things I'm hoping to see because Chip Kelly belongs in college where he has major success.
Hook 'em
horns.
horns. Listen,
That's right.
Listen. Okay, so I would love if that prediction came true because I'm trying to think of an NFL like Lovie Smith is the perfect example or Marvin Lewis. There's some coaches that I don't fear at all that have been around the NFL that always have the same kind of makeup on a team, like a Mike Pettine, a Lovie Smith, guys that don't have any, mystery to them. You kind of know what you're getting. And with Jay Gruden and Garrett, I'm not scared of either of those coaches. But Chip Kelly, he's something else. He's an innovator. There's mystery there that can kind of freak the Giants out. And that first year, I'm sure Giants fans still have that little uncomfortable feeling in their stomach when they think about Chip Kelly. So if the Eagles went out and if they hired like let's say like another Lovie Smith, or a Greg Schiano or something, as a Giants fan, I'd be pretty thrilled about that, and I wouldn't be threatened at all.
I'd be clapping to the cows came home, man, because it's just another Eagles, sad sack season for them, man.
Right. It's boom or bust with those guys. So the Giants, their next 3 games, and Shenk, let's talk about our team a little bit real quick here before we wrap up. We have the Monday night game at Eagles. That's the game that I really is the one that you circle on your calendar. And at the beginning of the year, with how the Eagles played against the Packers, you would expect that game to be really difficult. That is kind of a bridge game. I can't really put my finger on the prediction. It seems like the Giants should win.
Eagles?
It seems like the Giants should win going away, but that's still a scary trap game. And then you have the Cowboys at home. So these next 3 games are huge, and they're all winnable games.
Spence, I have a newsflash for you. There is no way, not no how, 0% chance
Don't jinx
that the Giants are losing against the Eagles. There is absolutely no way. They still got that terrible last year. They're coming down to the link, where they got extremely embarrassed. I hope Victor Cruz comes back healthy.
Oh.
He's got that huge chip on his shoulder, especially from last week. Last year, got hurt in the link last year, tore his patella tendon, and he's got to have a chip on his shoulder. He's got to be waiting, irking these next
Imagine if that's the return game, if he doesn't play versus San Fran.
I honestly hope wait it out, because I know that's the one game he's circled on his calendar ever since he got hurt. Ever he went into that hospital over across the bridge from me. And I'm telling you, man, I am so psyched for that game. That is the one game I can't stand it. I can't stand the Eagles, man. I watched it last year with a bunch of Eagles fans. They were giving me crap all game. I had nothing to cheer about. Eli was making dumb throws. No run game. Defense was horrible. And you know what? It's time to play. It's time to play that Steven Spagnuolo football that we all love.
It's time to put the order back in the NFC. It's time for Big Blue to capture the division that we own.
#Bleed Blue. That's what we're about.
Listen, man, I really think this is the time. This is our window back because we've had 4 years where we've been in purgatory. We've lost all the luster of winning these Super Bowls. The hunger is back. We've gotten breaks. This division's open. We just beat Buffalo. I am back. I'm back on the Giants bandwagon. I think it's our time to seize.
Giants fans out there, you've been a Giants fan ever since.
No. I'm saying that I believe in this team. That's what I meant to say. I'm on this, I believe that this team is a playoff team, and I'm very excited about our prospects. Of course, I'm going to cheer for this team every week.
Of course, I would hope to. You're wearing blue right now on our podcast.
Yeah, I'm going to show you guys some Giants gear next time.
Oh, here we go. Mr. Spence going to give us the year about, folks. Everybody's going to hear from
Yep.
our favorite Spence wearing some Giants Big Blue.
Guess what? Sunday's a celebration. I want Giants fans to go out, get a nice steak, maybe go to the Cheesecake Factory, order some cheeseburgers, bring it home, go to the Meadowlands or go to your television set, and just enjoy 3 hours of knowing that after we crush the San Francisco 49ers, we will be number one supremacy in the NFC East. And it's going to be a glorious feeling come next Monday. That's my prediction.
We're going to have a great show for you guys next week. And
Yes.
This is the Shenk and Spence show. Shank.
Hook 'em horns. Hook 'em horns, Chip.
That's
Chip.
my prediction for Chip.
Chip.
But this is us signing off, and we'll see you guys.
Let's do it.